What is going on, guys? Panther here. We are bringing you our Part 3 APA Season 5 Draft Analysis. So, a lot of you guys are probably wondering where the heck I've been the last couple weeks. And if y'all watched some of my other videos, you'll kind of understand that I've been feeling really burnt out on some mons recently. So, it all started probably, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago or so. I'm in this league, of course, and then in the BBL league as well. 2 Wi-Fi uploads are, just really taking a toll on me here this season, so I really hate it, but I just haven't been able to be as consistent as I normally am. Really, the only league I've been having a ton of fun in right now is our APA Little Cup Showdown League, but nonetheless here, we're going to finish the season. I've went back and forth with and just letting somebody else play that really wants to, but this is my league. I'm going to finish strong. So, just to recap, so last APA game that was up on this channel, it was our game against Wolfie, and we won that one, I think like 2-0 or something at the end of the game, and got a lot of negative comments on that, so that really took a toll, first of all. So we were 3-3 at that point. I got destroyed by Vivid the next week. No excuse there. You can probably catch the video up on his channel. I shut my DS even before I saved the replay. I was just so mad at myself for how I played. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. And then I just really needed a mental break. So I let one of the guys from my front office, Owen, play for me on a match for week 8, and that was against Johnny. And Owen and Johnny had a really good match, but Johnny ended up winning. So we're currently sitting at 3-5 here this season, but all hope is not lost. And we are going to hold on to that hope going into this last part. Now, we really need to go 4-0 here in the last part. We have a tough lineup of coaches. We have MV first. That'll be a big game. Then we have Kurt, I believe, who started the season really strong. Then we have Nate, who Nate's on fire right now. I think he went like 3-1 the second half of the season. And then we finished the season at Miticus, who probably knows me best how I battle, because I've battled him the most over my draft league career. So tough little road, but I believe here that we have a team that can run the table, and that's what we're going to bank on here. We need some big wins, so we're going to have some fun regardless the last half of the season. I hope I can express that in my videos, even if we aren't able to pull out the victories. I really hope that you guys are enjoying the videos, and I hope that you guys are excited to see the team that I have brought here for the first half. So we picked very high. I wanted to kind of pick a very solid Mega to go along with a lot of my other top tier mons that I was able to get in the beginning of the season. So of course, with these mons that we've drafted over 3 times this season, we're making an all-star team at the final portion. But yeah, before I get any further, huge shout out to Ultra Player for the graphics here this week. So I really appreciate that here, man. So let's go ahead and look at our first pick. So with the first pick, we ended up deciding to pick up Mega Lopunny. So we had the 3rd pick, and I wanted to pick a Mega. It was either really down to between this and Gololade, but I wanted the speed tier that Megalop can bring. And I haven't used Megalop in a very, very long time, but this mon does what it does very well, and that's click stab attacks. Its dual stab's really hard to switch into. That scrappy ability makes it so you can really just click high jump kick freely, or they can obviously run protect against you. But a lot of cool utility moves like Encore and Healing Wish. Gets some setup with power up punch, and then a lot of cool priority with like fake out and quick attack as well. So Mega Lopunny definitely has the tools to be a top of the line threat, and that's what we're gonna really base our teams around here in this last part, and see if we can pick up some clutch wins here with Megalop. So another mon that I really wanted to pair with like my Celesteela for this last part of the draft is a particular mon. I wanted to grab one of the Latios twins, and the blue one actually fell to me. So we're able to get Latios here with our 2nd round pick, and talking about just how it pairs with Mega Lopunny. Obviously Lopunny is going to be able to break those dark types for our Latios here. Now, fairy types are a problem, but we're going to address that here later in the draft. But Latios is a very good mon in this type of format. It's a very good breaker. And yeah, Latios is a mon that I've used back in Season 1 of APA Wi-Fi, and I'm really excited to have the opportunity here to use it again. I really wish I had both of these mons here all season, because I really feel like it gives me a really good physical breaker, and then a really good special breaker here going into this last part as well. Again, some cool tech from this thing like Defog. It can go physical with like D-Dance as well, which is something that Latios can't do. But yeah, really excited here about Latios here. Okay guys, sorry about that little break, but yeah, I had some stuff come up. So we have Suicune up here next. And yeah, I feel like Suicune really does pair well with Latios. Obviously it resists those ice type moves. And then Latios can check the electric and grass types that provide, that threaten out Suicune. Suicune's just a really good mon in Draft League format anyways. It's obviously a very nice bulky water to have on any type of team, but it takes hits for days, so you can really EV it to live the hits that you need and be able to dish out some major damage in return. Of course, you always have to prepare for the Crocoon set or the Vincoon set as well. So this is one of my favorite water types. This is probably it's probably my favorite water type in Draft League format, and in general, it's just really solid overall. And if you underestimate it, it really will sweep you. So after picking up Suicune here, I was going to go Nidoking next, which was in Tier 3. But we decided to dip into Tier 2 to pick up another ground type, and that is Hippowdon. So I wanted to pick up Hippo here because I wanted a reliable electric type switch in. And of course I wanted some hazards and just some general fat on my team. Hippowdon is a great mon. I was playing around with the idea of trying to pair it with like Excadrill or Stoutland later in the draft, and we'll see if that remains to hold true or not. But Stoutland's just really solid, and especially with mons like Nidoqueen and Nidoking going off the board, and like Crocodile I've already used here at this point in the draft. There wasn't really a lot of ground type options that I wanted to go with, but Hippowdon is definitely a great mon. I can face things out with Roar or Whirlwind. It may not even get Roar, I think it's just Whirlwind. But obviously it has great defenses, and you really can't sleep on this mon either, because if you don't prepare for it, then you're going to be in a world of trouble too. Latios is going to be really key though, because it is my grass resist at this point for both Suicune and Lopunny. So we're gonna, or not Lopunny, and Hippowdon. So we're gonna have to address that later on in the draft here to come. So after we picked up Hippowdon, we had a little bit of time before our next pick. And this one really got me hyped here, because I was hoping that this mon would actually end up falling to me. And it's a mon that is one of my just favorite mons in general. I used this mon in my original Soul Silver playthrough, and it's just a mon that I've fallen in love with over the years. And it's one of the better tier 3 options, I feel, and that mon is Arcanine. So Arcanine is hands down one of the best designed Pokemon in the game. It just aesthetically looks so cool. I wish it had a little bit more solid stats though. Like, man, base 105 speed in this thing would be disgusting. But it has a lot of really cool sets that it can run. It gets a lot of cool coverage moves. It gets like Close Combat, Crunch, Wild Charge, things like that. The bulky set's really good with Intimidate. It gets Flash Fire as well. So it's a really good check to those grass types that we were talking about. And just a mon that I'm really excited to use in general. Now, we don't have the greatest hazard removal at this point, just really Latios, and Latios doesn't really want to be forced to run that. So we're going to have to support Arcanine well. Latios is our only ground immunity at this point too, but Suicune and Hippowdon are definitely bulky enough to take those ground type moves. But Arcanine with that Intimidate ability is really going to add a lot here to this team, I feel like. And then even if I'm facing some other threatening fire type, I can go with Flash Fire and really just hang in there and sponge some hits as well. So I made this pick, and then let's see, was this the wheel? Let's see, I took Lop, went down, it came back up, I grabbed Latios, Suicune, yeah, Hippowdon, then Arcanine. Okay, so then now I have to wait a little bit of time before my pick again. Now this is where I was thinking about going Excadrill, but I actually decided not to go with that. I wanted to go with something a little bit more powerful. And this is a mon that I am pretty excited to use as well, because I've never used it before. It is such a huge threat, and that mon is Kartana. So Kartana is here, and I really think we're going to be able to put in some work with Kartana here in these last 4 weeks. So I have such a threatening offensive team here at this point, guys. I really, really like the direction that we're heading in. This is another one that gets defogged, although it doesn't really want to do it. But it doesn't get like rocks or anything, so that's really dependent upon Hippowdon right now. But Kart's really cool. It's a good speed tier at 109. Then it's got like 181 base attack, and of course beast boost as well. So this thing can run the timid set with like sash really well to get the speed boost. It can run like a scarf set, or it can just run like a breaker set with like SD Z move. Its base stab attacks aren't that strong, like Smart Strike's only base 70, but it's the repeated switch ins. Like something's got to take damage from Kart, something's got to take this thing on, and with hazards up, that can be all that more threatening. So Kart's really cool, and I really hope I'm able to use it well, and it can help lead me to playoffs, because we're going to have to go all out to try to make it at this point. So after Kartana, we wanted to start addressing some of our lower tier mons, and we do just that by dropping way down into tier 4 and grabbing our fairy before they all fall off the board. I was going to go Slurpuff, but Slurpuff actually went. And so I wanted to go ahead and pick up Aromatisse before it got too far into things. So Aromatisse is a great wish passer for the team, a great cleric with the with aromatherapy, of course. And I feel like it pairs really well with a lot of my bulk here. So I can run like Rest on Suicune and just aromatherapy up with Aromatisse, or like you know, if something gets paired like Kartana or Mega Lopunny, I've got this guy to come in and be able to alleviate some of that good wish passer as well, to just really be as a good defensive pivot, come in, sponge a hit, wish up, and pass out to a more offensive threat. So going to really be leaning on my offense here in these last few weeks, and I'm hoping Aromatisse can help me do just that. So it's not the most flashy a pick, but I think it's some really good low tier bulk that, again, forces prep. I've got a cleric now, I've got a fairy type, so you're not going to be able to spam just dragon against me, because Kart's not the best dragon type switch in, of course, anyways. So I wanted to go ahead and shore that up before all the good fairies went off the board. Now next, I'm going to dip into tier 4 again, because I really, really want T-Spikes. I really want a dark type, and there's a really good mod there that solves both of those roles, and that is Drapion. So Drapion is a very good pursuit trapper, of course. It can really eliminate the threats that are going to like hinder Mega Lopunny, like bulky ghost types, perhaps. This mod can do it. And of course, we have T-Spikes that's going to be able to really provide a lot of chip towards my opponent's team. And again, it's going to make them take hits from Latios, make them take hits from Megalop, and make them take hits from that Kartana. So yeah, Drapion's got a really cool ability too in battle armor, so I can't be crit. Is it battle armor? Or is it shell armor? Maybe, I forget the ability's name exactly, but it has an ability where it actually can't be crit, which is great, because I've definitely not had luck with that here this season. So yep, Drapion's cool. I get another 95 speed tier mod, so something to watch out for. But this thing gets some cool coverage as well. It gets like Earthquake and like Aqua Tail, things like that, so it can SD up and really be a threat to opposing teams as well, because this dual stab is pretty hard to switch into. You know, fairy types of course resist the dark, but they've got to watch out for the poison stab that Drapion can sit there and throw off at him. And then it's another fast taunt user, so I really love taunt. So you know, Drape can definitely do it. Drape can definitely do it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop back into tier 3 here. If you've noticed, one thing about my team is I do not have a lot of hazards. And Arrow just sitting there up there in tier 3 gives me some really good speed, again, kind of go along with Mega Lopunny. And it gives me rocks, and it gives me defog. So I felt like it gave me a lot. Aerodactyl's kind of a stretch tier 3 pick, but I felt like Arrow fit quite a bit. So this one was actually recommended by N, and I'm really glad that he recommended this one, because I really think Arrow is going to be cool to use here in the back half of the season. So again, another cool, really quick taunt user that we can definitely bring to games. It has 105 base attack and 130 speed, I do believe, and its dual stab's pretty hard to switch into as well. It gets a lot of coverage moves, so I could potentially slap a Z move on this thing and really rock some people with it. It gets Roost, of course, as well, so it's able to sponge some hits, not a lot, of course, but it's going to do its job pretty well here in the back half. So now, as you notice, we have 2 tier 5 picks left, so I really want to get some mods that I feel like can pair well with my final draft, and decide to first go with Lantern. Lantern's going to pair really well for Celesteela if we're able to make playoffs, so I felt like Lantern was a good value pick that we could get down there and go ahead and scoop up, because we could potentially pair it with Selly, and obviously it checks everything. They really complement each other well defensively, because Selly's just really doesn't like switching into those fire and electric type attacks, and of course Lantern can sponge those for days and just really pivot around. Another Heal Bell mod. It's pretty weak. It's like base 67 special attack, but it has the ability, of course, to Scald Burn. It gets Heal Bell, it can Toxic, and it can just pivot around. This thing runs AV a lot from what I've seen, but it provides me with 2 big immunities if I want to run Water Absorb, if I want to run the Volt Absorb on this thing. And then finally, here in the 11th round, we were able to scoop up another mod that I've always wanted to try in Draft League format, and that is Scyther. So another good speed tier here for this team, because it gives me that 105 speed. And this thing's surprisingly bulky with an Eviolite, so it can take hits, Technician boosted attacks like Aerial Ace and like Quick Attack and Bug Bite. So this thing is Mini Scizor here, which is without the steel, but it looks amazing. So I've got like 2 sword themed Pokemon here, and like Drapion, I guess, kind of maybe with his pincers a little bit, but yeah. So Scyther could be pretty cool. So we'll see if it comes to one of the games. Just a little bit of a fun pick here in the last round. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the team down below. If you skip to the end of this, so we're 3-5 currently. Really need to go 4-0 here in this last part, so really hoping that we can pull it off. Thank you guys for all the support for the Clefables here this season. Regardless, though, I've had a lot of fun either way, so really do appreciate all your guys' support here. Hit that like button down below, guys. It really helps out the channel, and of course hit the sub button too. We're almost to 400 subs, so would love to hit that by the end of the season. So I would really appreciate that if you did that for me down below. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It's pretty late here tonight, and I've recorded quite a bit of things. If you've watched the recent vids on my channel, you'll notice I'm in the same clothes. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching, and until next time.